Hi, I'm Rob Kemp. Welcome to the Emergency Care Improvement Support Team's podcast series. This particular podcast is a conversation with Lorraine Walton, where she discusses the focus model on site management at UCH.
So I'm Lorraine Walton. I'm the clinical ops manager, managing the deputy clinical ops managers and patient flow clinical site managers here at UCH and Queen Square Hospital. There are 465 beds at UCH site and around about 180 at the Queen Square site, excluding critical care. So we manage day to day the ins and outs of the hospital, so anyone that's admitted either via ED, elective surgery, clinics, other hospitals, and then we have an overview of the discharges so that we can put the right patient in the right bed first time. So my team are all from a nursing background. I have 6 deputy clinical operations managers who are AAs. Catherine is leading the show today. They run the show day to day, so they manage the hospital flow during the day and out of hours, so they're 24/7. They're bonds on site, so they pick up any escalation issues. And then I have 15 band 7s, of which Chile is one, and they manage the patient flow in and out of beds daily. I have one managing the emergency flow, one managing the elective flow, and one over at Queen Square managing the flow and site at Queen Square. So the purpose of my team is to make sure that patient experience is good and that the right patient gets into the right bed at the right time, minimising cancellations and reducing waits for patients in ED and recovery. But I couldn't do my job without the team of people that I have, so the experience of the team and the way the team just get on and do the job daily is second to none. I absolutely rely on my team 100%. So the benefits of the way we work to try and get patients into the right bed first time is to reduce the amount of outliers in the hospital, because we know that putting an outlier on a wrong ward adds at least 24 hours to their length of stay. It reduces safari ward rounds, so medical teams just need to go to one area to review their patients, and the care that that patient gets, the skill mix on the right ward, is what they need to have the shortest length of stay to get out of hospital as quickly as possible. So we encourage the wards to identify their discharges early so that we know which wards to target with confirmed discharges for the day. Patients that leave before 2 o'clock, those beds are more likely to be filled with patients of their own specialty, so wards are less likely to have outliers if they discharge patients early in the day. The problem we have is that we have quite a lot of late discharges, so we intelligently outlie from the AMU, so patients that are less clinically in need of specific wards we will outlie before we outlie other patients. We try to keep specialities together, so surgery and surgery, medicine and medicine. However, at times there is a need to put medicine in surgical patients. The consultants will lead us to tell us which patients clinically need repatriation early to their correct ward to reduce length of stay. So patients that are on the wrong ward will be identified on our EPIC system so that we can target those patients to get them into the right ward. There are specific wards that we don't outlie, so specifically orthopaedic ring fence beds. We protect those beds for patients coming in for joint replacement surgery. That reduces the risk of infection and also reduces length of stay. So with our EPIC system, we can see the number of patients in each area in the emergency department. We can keep an eye on their length of stay. We can give a hint to ED if patients are coming up to 4 hours, specifically if they're waiting for beds and they've got ready beds. We also look at the ambulances coming through the door, number coming in, number waiting, and we can have a look at the offload time for ambulances. We speak regularly to the floor coordinator, the nurse in charge of ED, and we pick up any issues that they have. We also let them know our plan moving forward, so we tell them what the future bed state is going to be so that they're not in the dark about what beds they've got available and in what speciality. We also let them know if we're running into problems with side rooms, paediatric cubicles, give them early heads up so they can start planning early. So because we manage both flows in the hospital, so we manage the emergency and the elective flow, we also manage our sister site at Queen Square. So we can see where our demands are, where our problems lie, where we've got capacity issues. So we're aware of everything. Our philosophy in this office is next patient is ready for the next bed. So it might be that there are 10 surgical patients coming in, but if they haven't been to surgery yet, haven't had an operation and not ready to leave recovery, then we know we can safely give those beds to the emergency flow, and there still won't be a backup in recovery later because we know the discharges that we've got on the system will support those coming in. So we have both of our site managers in the same office, so the elective flow and the emergency flow work together, talk constantly, discuss what their needs are in ED, and through the elective flow they work out a plan between them. So we have regular team updates, so Catherine will give the team the actions for the day. We also have an 11:30 huddle, so any actions regarding changes in patient dynamics. If we have to reduce anything, demand coming in, or increase capacity, that's made at the 11:30 huddle. So at the afternoon huddle, we recap on the actions given at the 11:30 huddle, make sure everyone's completed their actions, and then we make an action for the night going forward so that we know we've got enough capacity till the next morning. We also plan on the activity that's coming in the next day. If it looks like we're going to have a poor day, then we'll give different instructions to theatres and the divisional teams to see what happens about the elective activity the next morning. So the biggest headache for us is the unknown. So what we ask the ward to do is if they give us the definite and confirmed and potential discharges, we know what we're working for, we know where to target our efforts and into getting patients out. It's when the wards, they come up with surprise discharges. We could have put a patient into that bed had we known the patient was coming. The bed was coming up, sorry. If we know they've got discharges, we can then target those patients to those wards so that they know their demand, we know their demand and what capacity they're going to have left over at the end of the day. So I have a good relationship with my peers. We do share the love, so we text out the current state every single morning so they know what it's like before they get here. They are expected, so that everyone has an action card, so when it is amber or red or black, there's an action card that they have to follow. So they have to follow their action card and complete their actions on that card before then we'll say, yeah, that's fine, you can stop. What we try and do is if we escalate to amber and they follow their action card, it prevents it getting to red. Sometimes it's red and black. It was very red on Friday, so we change our bed meeting. So our huddle we have at 11:30, we bring forward to 10. We have a second one at 1:30 and then again at 3:30. So we capture the actions people need to take to get us out of where we were to improve the situation that we're in. So the people that my peers come to the huddle, so good relationship with them. You know, you have to help each other. So if they need help with something, we're more than happy to act as a go-between. What we did, we used to escalate things at the huddle because we had people in the room, but now we find that before they come to the huddle, they've already contacted the people in that room. So we've sort of given them the ability, we've given them the people that they need to contact for imaging, for phlebotomy, different specialties. So now we find that they contact each other even before the huddle. So we don't have to act as the middleman now, they just automatically go to each other for support if they need it. We started off with the meetings facilitating that, but now we've pointed people in the right direction, signposted where they need to go, so now they manage it themselves. So we give people actions to do, and then what we do is we work out what the response of that action was. So if it was a good outcome, that's an action that we would follow again. Obviously if it doesn't work, we need to see why it didn't work, and if we need to tweak slightly what action we ask people to take. It's no good telling people to go and discharge 20 patients off a ward. So the action might be that you go and focus on the patients that are medically fit for discharge and what we can do to bring their discharge forward, rather than focusing on a whole ward. They just have to focus on a small cohort of patients. So currently we look at our predictor up until midnight. We then roughly know what we will need to admit from midnight to 8 a.m. What we're looking for and get the system to help us with is what we're going to look like in 2 hours, what we're going to look like in 4 hours, so that we can proactively change what we do with our capacity based on the demand that's expected in the next 2 to 4 hours, so that we're not waiting for 12 hours and then reacting to when things go wrong. We're trying to see things coming so that we can proactively make a change before it happens. So currently there is nothing out there university or college-wise for site management teams. I had a meeting last week with one of our head of education, and we're working together with the team, so not me deciding what topics need, but we're going to develop a development programme for the 8s and then again one for the 7s. The 8s one will be in 2 cohorts, but bringing in things that they need, competences they need to be bronze, so they all have the ability to be bronze, but actually there is some, people feel that they need a little bit more help in one area, they've got strengths in another, so we'll just work on where they think they need help and support and build a programme around what they need to be able to completely fulfil their role.